Oop. Hello. This is my pre-post gym check-in. I didn't do a pre-check-in before I went to the gym. Just kind of got up and went, and I've been home now for about an hour. I just tidied up a little bit, and I prepped some chicken. I'm going to throw in the air fryer here in about 40 minutes. I'm going to go for a walk, I think. It's nippy outside, but just to get a little bit of air in my lungs and get my legs moving. I did 15 minutes in the treadmill and about a 40 minute chest workout. So I did okay. Not the greatest of workouts, but better than nothing. And I'm actually kind of thinking I'm start going twice a week maybe. Do kind of an upper lower split on 2 days, two visits a day. But anyway, yeah. I spent a lot of time thinking yesterday and today about things to go over. Is something I've really been kind of toying with, and I've mentioned this in a couple videos, is this concept or theory of two truths. And man, it's an interesting dichotomy of truths in my life, man, because on one hand I've been, light, and then the other hand I've been dark. And, to give you an example, one of the things that I teased out, or my therapist might have helped me tease out, is this concept of two truths in the context that trying to blame as part of my decompression technique. I don't know what you'd call it, but in talking to her and dealing with hurt emotions and feelings and I was targeting people and kind of pointing fingers and making myself a victim. And I don't like doing that, man. I don't like victim Olympics. I don't like feeling like a victim. And it abruptly kind of came to my attention that, I've been both. I've been both the victimizer and the victim. And coming to that realization was sort of a difficult pill to swallow. There's a lot of cases of that in my life where, man, I'd like to point the finger, and then if I'd done upon deeper analysis or thought, I realized like I've done the same damn thing, and I don't know if the chicken led the egg or what in that case. Was I victimized first and then victimized others, or what? I don't know. And that's probably irrelevant to moving forward and healing, but it's just something I want to start unpacking, because there's lots of instances of that in my life where, I feel I have to reconcile the two of them when it's reconcilable. Some cases it's not, but for another example would be, I want to be careful how I say this, because some things could be misinterpreted and damaging for me. Two truths, an example would be, I was a strict vegan from 2016, 2017 till about 2020 when COVID kind of came out. The inconvenience of being vegan was just too much, and I stopped. And yet on the flip side, on the contrary to that, would be, I was incredibly hostile towards people, and people as a whole, but that wasn't always the case. When I was in my younger days, late teens, early adulthood, I kind of explored racial ideologues and narratives, and I bought into some of them for a while, and it was very difficult for me to hate people for no reason. I struggled with that, very, very difficult. And I realized, like, man, there's people that I love, that I care about, and that have shown me nothing but love my entire life, and they wouldn't fit that narrative. And it was an example of two truths, man, where I tried to reconcile, like, look, I'm supposed to be following this narrative, and I can't, because people that are family and friends that would have been affected by that narrative. And I struggled with that for years, and I still struggle with it occasionally. And I don't know how to unpack that either. Again, you want to be careful of what I say. And part of me in this reinvention of myself at midlife crisis stage is sort of airing my dirty laundry and letting the past go, and understanding why why it happened. Not that it would ever repeat itself. You know, I'm older and wiser, and I don't have the same angst that I used to. I don't care about the world as much as I used to, or at least your opinions. And but it's still emotionally, it scarred me, and it's child traumas and all that shit that I'm trying to tease out. You know, I was, before watching this, or before shooting this video, I was kind of perusing YouTube, and it somehow popped up on my timeline. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1, the movie soundtrack, and I listened to one song, and you know, it made me smile coming home from the gym there driving, and I was like, man, I miss those days. You know, I was focused as a kid in that respect, you know, and one of the things I feel like my parents and my dad specifically traumatized me was I was in martial arts for most of my childhood. You know, I went to judo, I tried karate for a bit, and then I finally landed in taekwondo, and that was my catalyst for my obsession in life was martial arts. You know, I was always into ninjas and Karate Kid and ninja movies and Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee, and Ninja Turtles came out, and that was huge for me. And taekwondo was fantastic, man. You know, it fit my body my body mechanics better than judo. You know, I was never a strong enough kid to throw people around, and I was light, so I got thrown around. And karate was too slow, and taekwondo was a lot of flash and bang, and that's what I really liked. You know, I liked the handsprings and the aerial flips and the back flips and can't even remember all those things, but. You know, I obsessed over that. The Chinese getup and, you know, weapons handling and the flash was what I was really into. And I excelled at Taekwondo, man. I was a junior black belt almost by, I don't know, man, probably 2 years in. Anyway, I don't know where I'm going with this. You know, I was good enough that I could have probably contended for junior nationals, and my school was really poor. My parents used that against me, and my dad threatened to take me out of Taekwondo if my grades didn't improve, and they didn't, so they took me out, and that scarred me, man. It ruined a part of me and showed me that, I don't know, that nothing I liked mattered. And martial arts, that Taekwondo was the one thing in my life that I was doing on my own volition. You know, I was so fiercely independent about pursuing that as a goal. I didn't need friends to come with me. You know, everything else I did as a kid, I wanted friends with me. Whether it was a soccer or, you know, whatever sports I played as a kid. And I always had to do it with a friend. You know, even when I went to Air Cadets, I had a friend of mine that was in there. And my parents, man, they didn't understand the value of what that did to me, independence-wise. And taking me out of it kind of took the wind out of my sail, a large part of it. And just seeing that YouTube clip kind of reminded me of that, you know, like, man, fuck, what were you thinking? Like, I didn't like school. I don't like school. I don't like traditional schooling and learning, and my parents didn't know better. But man, just a message to you as parents: if your kids accelerate at something, let them accelerate at it. Don't fucking take them out of it, because it was a really impactful part of my life, man. I lost a part of my identity when they did that, and I mean, who knows what had happened, man? I mean, lots of those guys in MMA, UFC, starting Taekwondo and, you know, worked their way into Muay Thai and more combat type sports, and, you know, could have made a living that way. Fuck, who knows? But too little, too late now. I'm fucking almost 50. But yeah, anyway, I don't know. I'm going off here. I'm just kind of documenting my thoughts, my mental state, and I want to discuss the two truths at greater length, maybe in a reflections video. And maybe the inner child healing that, I don't know how to heal that part of my inner child. Like, do I watch Ninja Turtle movies and just eat popcorn and do backflips in my basement, or what? Like, not that I could do a backflip anymore. I could try, but I wouldn't get up. Anyway, yeah, just, I don't know. It was interesting how it made me feel. It gave me a moment of happiness, and I was like, I don't know, man, if that's healing my inner child and one of the wounds that my parents caused, maybe it's worth it. I don't know. Anyway, if you watch this, what do you think? Tell me. In any case, it's going on 10 minutes here, guys. So, as always, if you're watching, I see you. I feel you. I appreciate your eyeballs and your attention. Very much appreciate it. I hope your day is full of joy and blessings. And I hope you have a fantastic day, and we'll chat soon. Bye.